Yes. So right about now, we've got Kiss FM's Tyler West.
Yes, what is going on? What is going on? How are
Man.
you doing, man?
What's good, Tyler? You right?
Yeah. I'm keeping well. How about you?
No, I'm all right, man. I'm all right. I'm really grateful and appreciative that you was able to kind of spare some time to do this, man.
My pleasure, man. My absolute pleasure. My absolute pleasure. If I can help out, then yeah, I'm there.
Really appreciate that. And obviously with this time right now, everyone's in lockdown. It's a
Mm-hmm.
really, distressing time for some, and
Absolutely.
with like work and stuff like that, has lockdown, has the whole COVID thing had an impact on, say, like your stuff with Kiss?
So I've currently been broadcasting from Narnia, man. I've been broadcasting from my wardrobe every single day. So literally, I'm getting slapped in the face by a hoodie every single time I turn the mics on. But for me, I'm actually very, very grateful that I can still do my work from home. There's a lot of people in the creative industry. There's a lot of like TV shows that got placed on hold, but I think radio is a blessing because you can just relate to it. You can put it on in the background. And I think a lot of people right now, a lot of my listeners are really appreciating, if it's not the vibes, it's the music. If it's not the music, it's just the extra voice in a room, so they don't have to be alone on lockdown,
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty in the air, man. There's a lot of people worrying and not quite knowing what to do, and there's a lot of like confusing messages going out there. So all I'm trying to do at the moment, especially with my work across social media, my work at Kiss, my work across at MTV, all of the above, like I'm just trying to make sure that I can put a smile on somebody's face if they hear my voice or see my face on a video for like a hot 10 seconds of their day. Then if that's the case, then that's what I can offer. I do feel like sometimes you want to go and do more in it, but it's like, it is what it is. You can only do so much, especially being at home in isolation. But yeah, luckily for me with my work, I've been able to do the radio show from the wardrobe, and then I used to do the MTV videos literally from my bedroom. So it's a full on. I'm having more work to do from home than I usually would anyway. So
That's the thing, like when I'm hearing a lot of stuff what people doing, there's some people that are actually more busy now that we're in this sort of situation on the working from home or whatever it might be. Some people are more busy. Have you, like, in terms of like your routine, we're going to get into some bits afterwards, but just looking at sort of how have you adjusted? Have you adjusted to what we call in the new normal now?
Yeah, I tell you what, because I was talking to my mum about this the other day. Like, I'm quite good with my own company. I've always been, because I was always a shy kid, right? So I was always like, when I'm in my room, I'm in my element, like creatively, or like just being able to just chill, and like I'm fine with the balance, which again I'm very like in this circumstance has helped me out massively. Whereas some people I know are definitely struggling to make the adjustment. I think the one thing of what I am missing is the social element, but there's so many things that I've then started doing, which I'm sure we'll get into later, about like how to keep up that social aspect and how to not let it get to you as of much. But yeah, no, in terms of like me being out here and finding that routine, I've been doing my exercise. Exercise is key, like so key, like every single day. So in fact, I'm coming out of isolation. Yeah, okay, I need a trim. That's why I got out, yeah. But I'm coming out of isolation in better shape, yeah, eating healthy, more healthy, knowing how to like cook a little bit more than I did before, and more work on than I did have before. So yeah, I think isolation's a time, it's an opportunity, man. It's an opportunity.
Yeah, no, I hear that, man. I hear that. And so, like, we obviously met a while back in December. I was fortunate enough to come up to Kiss and for another project. And I enjoyed your company and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we managed to catch up, and I found out a lot more about you that was very insightful. And one of the things that I found very interesting was your story around mental health. And you obviously had a situation that had a big impact on your life, even to this day to a degree. And what I wanted to do today, if you're all right with that, is I wanted to see if you was okay to share your story.
Yeah. How much depth do you want me to go into?
Mid level, mid.
I'm gonna keep it mid-level. Okay. So when I was growing up as a child, I was always in the shadows of like my brother. Like my brother was my hero. He's an idol. He's confident. He played football for AFC Wimbledon. He played basketball for England. He was that jock. Yeah, he was that guy, and he could sing, and he's confident Lewis, and he's inspired me in all the work that I've done today. But I was always shy, so like where most kids will go about and bomb about on their scooters, I would just run home, rich tea biscuits, cup of tea, want to watch like Indiana Jones movies. Like movies I was just obsessed with because it was just me like zoning out, watching movies and telly. So that was me growing up, just to give like a little bit of a background. Like I was a shy kid, didn't say two words. And then when it got to like, started like street dance at school, that brought me out some confidence. I started like getting involved with different like sports teams and things like that. That started bringing out a little bit of confidence. But when I was 14, it was at my old house. Now I live in South London. But when I was at my old house, coming back from a street dance session one time, and I witnessed a very serious incident outside my house. Just as I was going in the doors, and I was watching it from my bedroom window. And this incident, it was massive in the press at the time when it happened. But the detrimental effect it had on my mental health is the thing that still affects me to this day. But it was one of these situations where I've witnessed the crime take place, and for I think it was a good 2 years following on from that, I was at counselling for it, and counselling, it didn't do the bits. Like it didn't help me. It's different like from case to case, but for me it didn't help me. But what it did do, that whole experience, and this is why like people, because I say that I'm grateful that I went through that experience, and some people are like, what, you must be mad, like obviously it affected you in such a bad way. But actually I wouldn't be doing any of the things that I'm doing today. I wouldn't have the confidence, I wouldn't be in the positions or the appreciation of life that I have today if I hadn't went through what I saw. And don't get me wrong, I don't take away the fact that it was like so scarring mentally. Because like I'll sit here now and I'll have a knife and fork at dinner, and the knife will trigger things like knife crime, anything knife crime related. You might be sitting there watching a movie, and then something happens knife crime related, and I'm just like, it just froze me for a hot second. But I've got better and better with that, because I've learned that them things there, they never sort of fade from your memory. Like I think about it every single day, but I just get better and better at dealing with it and having that on my shoulders. So it's just kind of like working out, like rather than seeing it as something that holds you back, it's like, how can I use this experience to push me forward and project me into better things? Because for a long time, man, I was in my bedroom and I just wouldn't, and this is at 14 now, I wouldn't come out. I wouldn't open my blinds. I wouldn't, the social aspect was gone. It was during my GCSEs. But then there just became literally, I couldn't tell you, it was just one day where I just decided to turn around and go, I'm not going to live this life like this anymore. Like it was like it sounds so cliche, but it was a make or break situation. And then what started to happen off the back of that is that I started to get out there more. I started going back into school. I got my head down. I got decent grades. And then I decided to start playing handball. So sport was really the release for me at that point, was just like something I could go do. I could focus on. I ain't got to think about anything else aside from the game that I'm playing. So that started to happen. I started going to handball, and then I got into the South England team, and then progressed my way up to the England team and the Great Britain squad, which was such an amazing achievement. But then what happened in my mind is that when one good thing was attached to like that bad memory, like my philosophy about it was that bad thing was just pushing me to more and more greater things. I was like, I can achieve anything. If I can get to the South England team, all right, I'm going to go for the England team. All right, cool. If I'm going to get to the England team, the Great Britain squad's next, So
I think the driver that was in
absolutely
right.
Absolutely, it's your tackling fuel, and it's being able to have link something. But like, so if something bad has happened to you in your life, or if you've gone for a really down, depressed time in your life, it's like attaching just one little thing. It could be as big as getting into the England squad, or it could be as big as managing to get to the gym once a week, or trying to or switching up a healthy living lifestyle routine. It's like, if you can attach one of those things to what you've gone through, it massively helped me. Just massively helped me.
One of the things that you said during that time when we first met, it was kind of like a philosophy that you kind of lived by, and it stuck with me. So I've tried to incorporate the same mindset. And one of your thing was you try to attack your fears daily. Try and do something daily. That's, you know, pushing yourself further. So it's kind of like what you were just saying, but that really stuck with me as like a philosophy of yours.
Yeah, man, you've got the way I say it, you've got nothing to lose, and everything to gain. And even if you was to, like, so for example, since I've been on isolation, I've been making over my Instagram. It's just been me losing my head, trying to keep sane, just making funny videos, right? And that's if you was to look at my Instagram before that point, I was like so not in that comfort zone, like of make a video and like try and post it out. But now I'm just kind of looking back on them and I'm going, if it makes me laugh, I've achieved something. If it makes somebody else laugh, I've achieved something even more. So like my standards and boundaries with those videos are so low, but I get so much enjoyment out of them. So it's like, it's doing something which is scary in some aspects, but then it becomes the norm. The more that you do it, the more that you keep trying. And it just pushes you in a better mindset, man. Just attack your fears daily and do something that scares you.
So would you say like, you're currently in a situation where you always have to keep yourself in check, like constantly?
Yeah. Always having to like, I mean, I'm quite critical in myself. Like each week I'll look at it and I'll be like, right, cool, what have I achieved? What's on the agenda? I like have a goals and checklist that I'll try and get at every week. And I think that's what keeps me going, is that if you give me an hour and you want me to come up with something creative, I'll come up with something creative. But if you give me a week, it's like a playground for me. And I think but it's only because some people will just do like tick the box. But I think if you can tick the box and all the boxes around it, you're just going to keep producing. You're just going to get used to that standard. Do you know what I mean? Like if you go on, like, so if you, I keep trying to challenge myself over the past few weeks on isolation to do a 10K run. It's long. Yeah, it's long. I completely underestimated it because I've never done a long run before. But now what I'm doing is doing like, you know, I'm building up 2K, 3K, 4K, and I'm trying to do as many as I can within a week to make that 10K a bit easier. And then before you know it, I'll be running the 10K, hopefully. I don't know. But anyway, but before you know it, I'll be running the 10K and it will just seem like a walk in the park in comparison to that massive mountain. You just got to take it one step at a time.
For real. So like with the situation we're in now and generally with being in lockdown, like, so what kind of things have you been doing to kind of like keep your well-being good?
Yeah, first things first, I've been doing this a lot. Instead of dropping a text message to people, I think that's because the social aspects I mentioned earlier is like the thing that I've struggled with. Because for me, I'm kind of back in my room, which is a comfort zone, but it doesn't push me outside of my comfort zone being in this place. So like I get out for my hour exercise. I've got to go for like the walk, the run, or an outdoor workout if I can. But I've been doing this a lot. Instead of sending a text message, I've been video calling people and just like popping up on their screens. So like my friends are just like, I ain't sitting there, I ain't got loads of friends. But then the people that I do talk to, they're sick of my face being on their screen. But I just pop up all the time. But it's like, oh, Ty's calling again. But it's so important to actually be able to see emotion, to actually be able to talk to someone, nod, respond, see facial expressions, and also just have a laugh. So that's been a really important factor for me of just like trying to keep in touch, because also I know that there's a lot of people out there that are struggling maybe a bit more than what I am because they live on their own. Luckily, I live with my mum, Debs, and I'm grateful for that I've still got that like somebody there. Whereas I know that a lot of my friends live on their own, and it's like they don't have that luxury of being able to just talk to somebody in the morning and things like that. So video calls have been a big one for me, especially with my work, like having meetings with producers and TV channels and things like that. So that's been important. My exercise, again, I made myself like a little home workout. So if you go on Instagram now, you must have seen it. Like so many people are doing classes. Yeah. So all of a sudden, it's like isolation's happened, and Instagram has turned into a load of personal trainers that I never knew did personal training. Do you know what I mean? So they're all coming out with these workouts, but some of them are actually good. So there's a few accounts that I follow that are well worth like sort of saving those clips, trying out the workouts, and I kind of try to switch it up from week to week because obviously I don't have any equipment in my house. I've got a skipping rope, that's about it. And then aside from that, I've been out like running on the streets and stuff. So the workout, I feel before I was always into my fitness, but I feel like now more than ever it's important, because it switches that balance a little bit. It allows me to switch off, and just really focus on my health and well-being. What else have I been doing indoors? Making videos, again, keeping my creative flair going. Do you know what I mean? I think if you've got an interest or a hobby or a passion or something that you're good at or something that you want to get good at, I think now more than ever is the time to do this. Like, so say for example, we was talking earlier and you were saying that this whole situation has forced your hand to make these videos that you've been wanting to do for a long time. I think so many people are like, oh my God, I'm bored. And don't get me wrong, everybody has their moan and everybody is in a situation, but you've got to count your blessings and then also see the opportunity side of it, because I've had so much time to think, so much time to put ideas into perspective and make a plan and talk to people about these ideas, and then also see if you I thought social media was going to be the worst thing as well during this time, but actually it's kind of been a godsend, because like the memes going about on Twitter, the creative things that other people are coming up with, like Mo Gilligan, for example, with quarantine games, like that's something you can look forward to, and it was on Instagram Live. It's now been commissioned by the TV channel. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's adapting to the surroundings, man. So that are the sort of things that I've been doing to keep busy, and it's working so far. So yeah.
Oh, wicked, man. And I guess finally, what sort of advice would you give to like the young people who we support in general? We support young people. We always want to try and like build on resilience and stuff like that. But during this time where well-being and mental health can be tested, what kind of advice could you give to like some of our young people?
I guess because obviously I'm 24 now, right? And when I was like, say, I don't know, like just say we were talking about that, and I was like 16 now, and because obviously this is just, schools are about to break up, aren't they, for the summer holidays? Now it's coming up quite soon. Probably during isolation, a lot of the year groups aren't going to be able to go back. But I would kind of like, as a teenager, I'd be sitting there going, oh, wicked, got all this time off, I'm just going to chill, I'm going to do nothing. But listen, like my biggest bit of advice would, especially in the situation and the current climate we're in, don't sleep on it. Like, use it as an opportunity to get yourself a year ahead of the game as to what you would have been, because you've been given so much time right now to play with that it could put you into a completely different position this time next year, or this time by the end of isolation. Do you know what I mean? You could come out with a completely different perspective, a drive on what you want to do. If there's a course online that you want to follow, or just use the opportunity in the best way possible, because you don't get given that in the real world. You don't get given that time. You've got to travel to this place. You got to, like, so if we wanted to have this meeting, for example, I'm sure that, before isolation, we probably would have said, all right, so what date can we meet up to go do this? We wouldn't have thought about video call doing this on Zoom. So it's so much like, it's looking at the opening up your eyes to the wider perspective of things, of what you can use around you, but also then I think for the young people, it is keeping on the right path and not letting it push it, not letting it sway you, because sometimes people have too much time on their hands, they don't know what to do with it, and end up to no good. So I think if you fill that schedule as much as possible, that will really help you in terms of staying on the right track and the right path. Keep like your closest friends in contact, and it's even like little things like PlayStation. Like, I'm obsessed with gaming. I've been like, I'm FIFA king. If anybody wants to take me on, come through, innit? But it's just like it is finding what you enjoy, the smallest things in your routine, and then just turning them into something much bigger, and then just dividing up your routine like you would a school day. I think that is just so important. I think that's one of the, I think everybody at school kind of slept on the fact that, you know, you would have your first lesson, your second lesson, then you'd have a break time, then you'd have your third and fourth period, lunchtime, and then you'd have fifth period, and then you'd go home. Like, that structure that is installed upon us from a young age is so important in everyday life. And that's whether you're freelance working from home and you have your own business or anything like that. If you can come up with a schedule and a plan, and you can put that into action, you just end up bettering yourself day in, day out, like, as long as you're keeping to that schedule and pushing yourself.
Wicked, man. And finally, Tyler, so where could people tune in and listen to you? What you got going? How could we hear you or see you? What you got going on?
Absolutely. So if you follow over on MTV UK's Twitter or Instagram, you'll see some of my videos going up there throughout the weeks of being on isolation. That's usually like Tuesdays and Fridays. Tune into my radio show. That's 3 till 7. I'm forgetting the times. It's isolation. 3 till 7, Monday to Friday, over on Kiss. We've got loads of chances for you to win, games to get involved with, and also a banging soundtrack with a little bit of history in there as well. And then I've also got the chart show, which is 40 of the biggest tunes on Kiss of the week. That's every Sunday from 5 o'clock for 2 hours. So yeah, any of the above. But then also, if there's any young people listening in that want to chat or want a little bit more advice following on from this, or even just want to whack me up at FIFA, then feel free, slide in my DMs, message me. If I can help you out or any situation, then yeah, absolutely jump on it, man. I'm here.
I really appreciate that, Tyler, man. Listen, blessed for this. Thanks for
man. No, thank you, Brian, man. I love the work you're doing, bro.
Thank you, man. Thank you. All right. All the best, yeah?
Nice one, man. Take care.
Peace.